Alright, and welcome back to The Nose Plays Age of Wonders 4. We're already to part 9 of this series, partially because I've been able to keep each video to about an hour's worth of length of recording. In the past, I'm very well known for going 2 or 3 hours at a time, and I'd like to chop up the series a little bit more than that this time around. So I'm going to try to always keep the videos to just over an hour or just under an hour in length, depending on how the game's going. That being said, one thing that I did realize after playing yesterday is that we didn't do a single tactical battle. Um, Part of that was just because I'm trying to get through this game as quickly as I can before I go on vacation. But the other part of it is we just have such overwhelming force that those battles are going to take a very long time to move all those units, and there's not going to be a lot of value in seeing 18 units crush 6 units. Um, but one thing that I have thought about, if I make a really good decision to tactically get one of my armies stacked the right way with the best units, then we can start a battle and I can uncheck the reinforcements in an overwhelming battle and have a more even battle with a smaller number of troops. And so maybe that's what we'll do to kind of show off some of the new units that we've accumulated over the course of the game in this next fight or two. And those battles will go a little bit shorter because it'll be something like 6 versus 6. Um, we'll probably do at least one big battle before the end of the series, just for fun. But be aware, because of the complexity of just the combat system, and 18 units doesn't sound like a lot, but it actually is a lot. It could be a whole video in and of itself. Um, I'm also known for waffling on my strategies and constantly overthinking things. But let's go ahead and pick up where we left off. It looks like there's a couple of notifications here. The village of Thorn, a vassal city, has improved to the next tier of vassalage. So now we're getting 30% of their income. They are offering trade, but they only want to trade in mana crystals. And while I do have a nice surplus of mana crystals at the moment, I do have plans for those surpluses to go towards something. So I'm not going to be doing this at the moment. A couple of units still have some movement left over. I think I decided to go ahead and wait a couple of turns and sort of regroup, get all of our armies back together and sort of figure out how I want to organize those units. And then way over here, I thought I had, yeah, I got a stack of 5 over here with a couple of shock troops, a bannerman, and a couple of our glade runners. Maybe a good defensive unit that could do like a stand your ground thing, or the shield wall would be good for the last spot in that army. And notice that our gold is still pretty high, so we definitely could start producing another couple of units. So maybe I'll just throw a pikeman on here, and we'll throw him in that army, just so we have a frontline unit to go with the horsemen. Because shock troops are not particularly good frontline units. They're really good flanking units, though. In fact, exceptionally good flanking units. If you can sort of pin the army down with your frontline units, get the ranged units shooting over the top, and then bring some cavalry around the back and do a little hammer and anvil, that works pretty well. All right, so this army does have some movement available to it. Maybe we just move a little closer. Move back over here so that we can pick up this pikeman when he finishes next turn. And there's the enters notification. So Reyna Monster Keeper is a villainous I'm sorry, she is not a villainous goblin, but she is a wizard king of villainous goblin people, and these are evil barbarians. Okay, so that kind of explains her being so aggressive in some ways. We'll have to look at that a little bit more thoroughly, but she's got a pretty good army, about 1 stack worth of units there. I'm hopeful that this army can get up there, and then we'll outnumber them 2 to 1. All right, we can get the wild speaker here. This army had a bunch of the... I'm curious what these count as. Forest walk, forest camouflage, magic origin. Okay, so these count as magical creatures, and they count as a plant type. If I click on, say, this one, there it is. That's what I'm looking for. So any unit that has this paw print is going to have reduced upkeep cost in the Wild Speaker's army. So that's the symbol for animal unit. So I can very quickly just scan through units now. Like this guy, he doesn't have a paw print, so that's not going to be helpful. So let's go ahead and move all the animals into that army, and that should adjust. Yeah, instantly adjusted our mana upkeep because it reduced the upkeep cost of all those units. In addition to that, I can take this unit, move it into her army, and then take this hero, and instead of building that pikeman, which I think we've already completed, unfortunately. That's fine. We can move her into that army and have, is it a her? Level 7 hero, pretty powerful. Hilla Bloodspitter. Yeah, so I'm pretty sure that's a female cat folk. But we can move her into that army. Also, we should definitely give her the white horse of the Dark Angels. Alright, so we'll send her back to meet up with that army, and that should be good. Free city can be integrated, rival declared on us, and a Whispering Stone has finally been returned. So these guys finally maxed out their vassalage. This is going to be the cost to integrate that city and claim another city. We're about to claim this one, however, back, and I do believe we get that next turn. We needed to spend 200, so we're going to need one more turn of Imperium to claim this and reduce the penalties for having more cities than our cap. And then who was it? The Mole Man declared a rivalry on us. That's interesting that he would do that, to be perfectly honest. We do have a fair amount of order affinity. And he's into alliances, and the big thing is he is fairly evil, and we are fairly good. So that's the big one. But actually, when we looked at this yesterday, the thing that was actually affecting him the most was this. Okay. We've been eliminating other rulers. Our armies are more powerful than theirs. We're supported by many vassals. And we are currently involved in wars. What I don't know what the color differences here mean. Like, does the green mean that they approve of wars? Or does the green mean this is one that's really contributing, and then the other ones they either don't know about, or they aren't contributing, or are these contributing more? The color coding here has me a little confused. Uh, the fact that this says they found the following contributing factors, in my opinion, means that all of these things are contributing, but the red ones are probably contributing more. And if we mouse over here, we can see that it's a total of 400 points. And there were 4 things on that list. So I do like that for the most part, we just get so much information by mousing over these tooltips. Um, but yeah, that could be like 100, 200, 300, 400. That could be how it's being calculated. I just don't know. Either way, I could. I mean, we could already declare a justified war with these guys. I don't think they're going to be that hard to take out, but it is going to cause the game to last a little bit longer than I anticipated. All right, so here's going to take a good chunk of our mana reserves. And then in addition to that, this one is the big one that's going to be very expensive. 10, almost 15 units will be affected by this. So we're looking at about 30 mana per turn, roughly speaking. And this basically passes on that stand together trait to all of the units in our army that don't already have it. Super powerful, does it really help, especially in those big battles where you're running with 18 units and you can really stack them up together and get a lot of bonus damage. I'm not sure that I'm ready to cast this yet, but I might prepare it. So it only takes 1 turn to prepare this spell, and then we can just sort of sit on it, and when we're ready for the right big battle, we can cast it. The one downside to that is we actually have to remember that that's what we're doing. So, all right, we already got this notification, and we've moved up to this tier now. Vassals gain +1 allegiance level when first vassalized. Converting vassals takes 1 turn shorter. That could be good. All units instantly regain hit points. Non-hero units gain +1 rank. That could also be good. That could instantly make our army more powerful. Pretty expensive, but something to keep in mind. Okay, we've got that pikeman. We knew about that. The tribunal's finally been completed. That should get this up pretty high. We're at 33 stability now, so that's good. We're about to grow more population, so it's going to start coming back down, but we still have the bathhouse to be made. Merchant's Guild is available. We can only get to build one guild. I do need this monolith, and this is another situation where we're being hamstrung by not having a conduit down. So we're going to want to build a conduit. And for some reason, we don't have access to a conduit with this city. I'm curious why that is. Let's take a look at Eastwatch's territory. That's actually not very helpful. We did get that levy camp. Oh, I need to activate that. Okay. We can actually activate this and set it as our deployment position for future units that we make at this site. So curiously enough, none of these tiles have mana crystals. So I'm not sure that I'm going to be able to build that building. And I'm not 100% sure why. I've already built it in that city. Can I build one over here? Is there... I'm wondering... Yeah, I can build another levy camp, so you're not like limited to one of these. Maybe you are limited to a single spelljammer though? Where is our spelljammer? I put it down somewhere. I thought. Didn't we build a spelljammer somewhere? Oh, it's queued up. Counts as a conduit. Must be built on an acquired province. Minus 10 mana. Yeah, I don't know why there doesn't seem to be any requirement other than the fact that we're building one of them. I don't know why that would not be available in my other cities yet. Oh, that could also be why. Okay, I know what it is. So, I bet that it has to do with the Wizard's Tower. I bet that the prerequisite for building a Spelljammer is your Wizard's Tower, and you're only allowed to have one Wizard's Tower in the game. That's got to be it. Yep. Yep. So let's see. If I go here, we can... Wizard's Tower... Yeah, I can't go backwards as easily as I can go forwards. I can see the new things, but I guarantee you whatever... Actually, we can do it here. Yep, let's look at structures. And we can go down to the ones that we've built. And then we've got Wizard Tower level 2. So that one's not showing it. Does it have Wizard Tower level 1? Town Hall level 3? Ah, there it is. Town Hall level 3 Citadel unlocks Spelljammer Province Improvement. So it's actually a Town Hall upgrade that unlocks it. That is something that we could get. And in fact, this would be boosted. We just need to get a little bit more money. And is there anything else that we can build that's just going to be cheap but also beneficial? That's not really that beneficial. I don't really see this expanding much. That's almost all of our gold though. I think we're just going to pass and then I'm going to start building it next turn. Because we definitely need that mana output. Okay, go away. Orders received. You guys just wait another turn. Before we do that, I guess one thing we could do is move forward a little bit. Because this is all going to become friendly territory. That might have been too much. I don't think we're going to be able to be attacked from that position. We'll regroup over there. This unit's moving up. And I'm actually going to take this unit out. We'll replace it with... we'll replace this one with the hero, and then we'll start building just some very generic defensive armies, just in case somebody sneaks over there. Just noticed that somebody has gone ahead and put a message in the chat. It looks like Tartan. Hi, Mr. Nose. Nice to see you playing this game. I bought it a few days ago and seems like a cool game. You've helped me a lot on Endless Space 2. I hope this game too. First time playing Age of Wonders. Excellent. Tartan, I'm glad that you enjoyed my Endless Space 2 playthroughs. I do have a pretty unique style of narrating my gameplay that does seem to be helpful to a lot of people. And yeah, I'm really excited about Age of Wonders 4. I've been playing Age of Wonders since the very first Age of Wonders came out in the late 90s, early 2000s is when I picked it up. And I fell in love with the game back then. Um, and it's just gotten better over time. Age of Wonders 3 was a big step forward for the game, and I played that a lot as well. Didn't do a lot of videos for that one, um, but I definitely put a bunch of time into playing that game. And oh my goodness, this game improves on almost every complaint I had about Age of Wonders 3. It makes it feel like a modern game. There's just so much good stuff going on here. And the best news is, whether you like them or hate them, Paradox has a good track record of continually producing more content for games long after release. I've often mentioned Stellaris as an example of that. 7 years that Stellaris has been running strong, still has a large player base every single week on Steam, and they get new content. A lot of it's just free updates for the game, and then some of it's paid DLC, which helps keep the game moving forward and keep devs interested in working on it. So it does also make games really expensive, and sometimes that turns away people, but I do understand why they have to do that in some cases. The best part is there's often really good Steam sales on a lot of those DLCs. So if you wait around and you find a good sale on them, the price for what you get often feels a little bit more palatable if you're just not into paying the initial cost. So looks like we have another little quest here of some kind. So a taste of friendship. These brutal cat folk are offering us a glass of some concoction that they like to drink, and we have to make a decision on how we're going to handle this. So we can go ahead and drink it and reduce our health for a couple of turns. We're going to gain extra allegiance, which will move them up to bonded vassalage in one turn. So that'll increase the speed at which that happens. We also have this attempt to render the foul drink harmless. These are really cool. So when you have a high affinity, some of these quests will give you an additional option. And the higher your affinity is, the better your chance for success. We actually have a lot of affinity in nature, and so we could actually attempt to do this pretty risk-free. Now, the downside is if we fail, we will permanently lose one nature affinity point, and the result is pretty bad. So this is like a high-risk, high-reward type of an offer. But this is going to immediately move them to bonded vassalage, give them a massive boost to their approval of us, and what else? Just those two things? I think with a 90% chance it's worth the risk. We could also just decline, which would reduce the rate at which they would become a bonded vassalage. So it would greatly slow down. They're still going to become a bonded vassal. It's just going to take 7 turns. So let's go ahead and give this a try. Success. Excellent. And now if we take a look here, free cities. That was this guy here. We can see that we've moved up to 600 in bonded vassalage. So we're very close to maxing this out. We're going to get both of these Whispering Stones back very soon, and we'll be able to give them to either other free cities. In fact, we do have one. So this is something worth thinking about. If we look at our cities... Yeah, for some reason, it doesn't show our morale on this tab. Or I keep saying morale because it's the same icon. It's morale for units. It's actually called city stability when you're talking about cities. But um, so one option with our extra Whispering Stone is to give it to one of these cities that has lower stability. But I think all of them are in pretty good shape except for Sulville, which we just took over. So now this is all our friendly territory again. I do want to put a hero in charge of this city. And it looks like the hero that we had here is gone. So they must have killed the leader of this city when they took it over. I guess that would be obvious because they wiped out the army. That's unfortunate. We might have to go see if we can free him from prison if he's still alive. But for now, we'll put her in charge of this city. I am going to go ahead and give them the Whispering Stone to help increase their stability over time. And let's go ahead and build. See, this is kind of disappointing. Some of the best buildings, like the Tithe Shrine, this is a faction-specific building that's pretty cool, isn't being utilized by these guys. In fact, if we take a look at the structures, the only thing they've built is the Clergy of Commons, the Library, the Vendor, Archer Battlements, the Stonemasons. That's actually not terrible, but man, you would expect these guys to be a little further along at this point. We're turn 50 into the game. That's really disappointing that the AI on normal difficulty just cannot keep up with the player at all. And I don't expect them to be like as far along as we are, but this feels really behind. Now, one thing I don't know, this city did get wiped out. I'm not 100% sure when you do that, when you attack a city and take it over, if any of the structures get lost during the battle. That sometimes happens in these types of games. But yeah, that's a little disappointing. Let's go ahead and get something started. Probably the marketplace, just get our gold back up. And then unit-wise, this is a bug that happens occasionally. So the zoom level for the archer is not set appropriately, and so all we see is this foot. It doesn't really affect anything but this icon, but this is a common bug that happens. I've seen it numerous times for the units. It makes it a little annoying when you're trying to visually spot what unit you want, but everything seems to work just fine. I'm actually thinking of grabbing a scout just so we can send a scout into enemy territory. We now have, I think, the forest camouflage. So as long as we keep the scout in forested areas whenever possible, it'll make it a lot harder for him to get picked off by the enemy. Tartan has commented again. He says that at the moment, in normal difficulty, the AI seems a bit too shy when you're in a war against. They don't really attack in my last 5 games. Was it the same in other Ages of Wonders? It's hard to say. There were definitely higher difficulty levels that you could set the game to and make things more aggressive. I didn't play the game a ton at like the highest difficulty levels. There's a gentleman by the name of Bob who has a channel called Black Arrow Gaming, and he played Age of Wonders 3 extensively at the highest difficulty levels against multiple opponents, and they are much more aggressive at the higher difficulty levels. So my thought on this game is going to be that if we increase the difficulty level beyond normal, at some point we're going to get much more aggressive AI. But we'll just have to see. It's pretty new, and the AI is pretty new, and so I'm sure over time they'll improve the AI a little bit. The other thing about this game that's different is all the AI doesn't act exactly the same. We've pointed it out before, but every AI has a personality. And so this is going to influence how the AI interacts with both you and other empires. And so it's not uncommon if you find an AI with a very similar personality to your own class that you can basically become friends with them and have like a real diplomatic relationship, which is kind of cool. And I'm sure that's going to improve over time. Okay, so we got the scout queued up. We got that queued up. Um, He's doing just fine. Yeah. All right. We're definitely going to be able to make it over there. This hero can start heading back to the levy camp. This army, minus the pikemen, can head down towards the hero. And the pikemen, let's start getting an army onto the levy. I didn't want to do that exactly, but I just moved them back together. That's fine. Let's get another pikeman. Another archer, just a regular archer perhaps. That should be good. Maybe we'll build something here too. I don't want to use all of our gold yet. No, let's not do that. I wanted to... Might have to undo one of those. We wanted to do this. So yeah, we're going to have to undo that. Let's stop with that. Stop with that. Now, do we have enough? Yeah. Okay, so now we'll get that, and then that's going to unlock the Spelljammer, which will then unlock the mana conduit or mana producing building. Everybody wants to trade in mana crystals all of a sudden. Okay, so you can see our mana has jumped up significantly, partially because we took control of the city. So now we're getting the full income from that city, and it probably had some mana producing buildings. Yeah, we're producing 54 mana crystals here, so that's pretty good. Which means we could probably go ahead and cast this. So does it give me an upkeep cost? Yeah, it's 28, right around 30, just like we said. Alright, this army needs some more animals. Let's summon another animal. Actually, is this... Okay, this is Unleash the Beast. I thought this was the one where we're going to summon like a tier 3 animal. I didn't quite pick that one up yet. Let's summon one wild animal. And that spell's already ready to go, it looks like. Or no, it's going to be one turn. Okay. Alright, so we've acquired all kinds of these bonuses. I don't really care about that. That's basically just telling us that we're back to picking up this bonus and this bonus again. And actually, we're like doubled up on these, so... you can wait. You can wait. Yeah, we're getting the archer issue here too. And that's the end of that turn. Tartan says, okay, I'll try another difficulty, but yes, I didn't see that their personality may increase or not, their aggressivity. Good point, thank you. Yeah, the personality thing is new. It was not part of the previous versions of Age of Wonders, or if it was kind of hidden. It's very apparent in this version, where you can actually mouse over it, and then you can see exactly the kinds of activities that they're interested in, what they're going to be pissed off about. Some of them are kind of weird, like they don't make a ton of sense, but it is an interesting way for you to sort of shape the AI. One cool thing that I think would be neat, and this is going to be available hopefully to some degree. I haven't used the modding tools at all, but people are going to be able to go in and mod these personalities, I would imagine, at some point. And so you might be able to get some really good custom AI personalities that are pretty smart and fairly competitive um, through modding. And we'll see that progress over time. The modding community's already been pretty active. I'm only really running one mod at the moment, but I'm interested in several. The mod that I'm running is the color palette, Age of Colors. It just adds a bunch of extra colors for banners and stuff, and seems to be pretty good. I haven't noticed any issues with it. So, okay, we have discovered another city. Our wild animal spell's ready to go off, so cast that. And then I guess we're ready to Breastplate of the Champion, Mines Grant Draft, really close to instantly gain plus 20 knowledge for each province in your empire's domain. That's just going to give us a massive influx of knowledge, get a research done really quickly. This is the one that I really want to get to, though. Cities gain 5 mana for each resource node in their domain. So because of the expanse of all the resource nodes, our mana pool is going to just explode. And we're going to be able to cast spells like crazy. Create Forest, Call of the Wild, Empowered Beasts. This is a unit enchantment. It applies to animal units, makes them far more powerful. Creating Forest is another really interesting spell. I don't think we're going to utilize that this game. I'm going to go ahead and go with the animals. Let's see. Everybody but the pikemen can move to that quarry. Oh. No, we don't want to attack the quarry, just move there. All right. And then the hero can get to there, that's fine. And then the pikemen can set up on the levy camp. And I should be able... What does this do? Ah, here we go. Set as unit deployment location. So now, whenever we make a unit in Eastwatch, like say an archer, instead of deploying the archer in the city capital, it's actually going to deploy it at the levy camp, which is what I wanted. And then here, we'll go ahead and build another pikeman, get 2 pikemen, 2 archers, and a bannerman, and have just a little weak army here, just in case another one of those infestations pop up or something that we need to deal with. And then this army is ready to move, so interesting. The armies that the Monster Keeper had on our shores, this free city, this vassal, produced some more military units to defend it. So it had this stack of 5 that I bought for it at one point, I believe, or at least a portion of it. And then it produced its own army here, and that was enough to dissuade these guys from attacking. But it looks like they've sent a small number of them over here. That might be a good task for this army to deal with, but does mean that we perhaps don't need to send this army up north anymore. Maybe we bring it this way. Yeah, let's go ahead and bring this guy back to the fold. And This army can sort of move in here as well. So this is the spell that I need to cast to get the camouflage active. It's going to take a couple of turns to get the mana we need, or some more Imperium. So far, so good. Alright, so we can see what looks like several military units over here. Our sensing range, I think, is providing us this intel. So we don't know exactly what's there, but we know that there's an aggressive unit here and then several units there. Alright, our treaty has expired here. We can trade for more draft or more money. We don't need either of these at the moment, so I'm gonna just pass on that. Got the Academy, the Rockman. Okay, so we've got several things to start building again. We can build this monolith, which will be helpful. And I can build, say, another archer. Get him down to the levee. Unfortunately, we are out of gold, so gold producing buildings would be good again. Having all these armies is lowering our gold output by a little bit, so that's part of the issue. Alright, well now we can see what we're up against. So basically 2 stacks. We definitely outnumber them. I think we're going to send her like up this way. We might split these guys off into 2 stacks and attack both of her cities at the same time. I don't see where those scouts ended up getting off to. Let's maybe go. Provides vision in an 8 hex for whichever empire visited it last. Let's go step on this and see if we can get a little more vision of the space around here. We might be getting the vision already. Also, a desecrated temple here is something that we could try to clear out just to help level this hero up. These are mostly tier 3 units, so that's not impossible. Alright, and then we were going to get this scout over here to give us better vision, but we already made it before the scout was ready. So instead of that, I have a plan to... Let's Let's see, let's find it. It's actually right there. Okay. So what I want to do then is take this army down into the underground and start scouting. But we could probably take him down this tunnel. Get a little bit of intel on this side of the map. So we'll embark and then maybe head over here and clear some territory that way. There's a small chance that we might start digging. So there's an excavation trait that you'll need to clear areas of the underground, and that can open up spaces or pathways to territory that's sort of bottled up. I think there's a good chance we're going to end this video with the end of Reyna Monster Keeper. So, yeah, we'll keep our 2 more powerful armies here. We can send the weaker armies up this way. Actually, maybe we'll keep 3 armies here. I can never click on these units, man. That is one of the biggest complaints of the game, is how easily it is to click on military units. Like this one in particular is kind of annoying because it's flying above the tile. So the thing to remember when clicking on units that can be frustrating is that you don't click on the unit. You have to click on the tile that the unit is standing in. It's like if I'm, clicked over here or something, and then I want to click on this. If I click on the actual physical unit's model, it won't work half the time. But if I click on the tile that it's standing in, then it will actually activate. So that's the big detail that you need to keep in mind. Okay. That army might be a little more powerful than just this guy can take on. So maybe we do send our hero. They're building more forces though. So they have almost 3 stacks now. This unit doesn't have a hero? I thought we had a hero in this army.
Oh?
Yeah, somehow I've Alright, so they've got enough siege defenses that it's going to be 6 turns. We can add some siege projects to help improve that. They don't have a lot of defenses, and their walls aren't that great. With 55, it's going to take 6 turns. If I bump this up, I can get this done in like 5 turns with tower bombardment, or we can undermine the city walls. Let's do that. Actually, let's try this and see if it goes down, because I thought 3 points was going to be enough to reduce it, but it's only reduced it by 1 turn. That reduces it by 2 turns. So 5 points will reduce it by 2 turns. So we could go this one and this, or this one and this one, and get... but I don't have enough gold for both of those. I do have enough to do both of these. Yeah, that's still enough to get us down to 4 turns. Let's go ahead and start that then. So we got 4 turns. I do want to keep all of these armies here. And finally ready for this. So now look at our mana. I think that skill's almost overpowered. By the time you pick this up, and we've focused not entirely on the nature affinity, but we've put pretty heavy amounts of nature affinity into this character. We're at like turn 56. We got this. We have like tons of cities, tons of space. Like our mana problems are basically over. So free city can be integrated. Okay, so this one's completely filled up now. We got another stone back. So I've got a free Whispering Stone to send somewhere. Keeping track of your Whispering Stones is real important. You're going to miss out on a lot of stuff if you don't have this. The other thing is this. This is a problem. So we are suffering an economic penalty. I'm imagining it's like 5 or 10%. I wish it told me what the penalty was, but let's close this and go to one of our cities. We'll probably see what it is. Multipliers. Oh, that's just for population. Yeah, I'm not seeing what the penalty is here either. I know I've seen it in the past. It's like a percent reduction to your output somewhere. Alright, we now have spells ready to cast. I could cast another animal spell, but I do want to build up enough mana to cast like Leaf Skin and Super Gross, so we're going to pass on that for now. This unit needs to just continue his progress down towards the levy camp. This unit needs to do the same. And this army, we're going to go to this underground tunnel and start scouting our last victim. All right, we're able to get across the water and over here. And now that we're like down here, I don't think it makes much sense. I don't think it makes much sense to put him on auto explore. He's probably just going to get killed if we do that. So we're probably going to have to manually explore with him. Tartan made another comment. He said, there is a thing that annoys me too. If you click on a hero and go to his equipment, I would love to have some arrows to select another hero instead of quitting and repeating the thing to another hero. I totally agree. I've actually made this exact point in an earlier video. So what he's talking about, if you click on a hero here and you're adjusting their equipment and everything, you know, you get all the cool stuff. There's no tab, there's no arrows here to switch between all of your heroes, which is just a big miss. They really need to have like some arrows on either side of the name here so I can cycle through my heroes as I'm doing this, or up above the hero or down below the hero, but somewhere on this page there needs to be the ability to jump between the heroes. It's really annoying to not have that ability while you're trying to sort through all of your equipment. On the plus side, the way that they handled equipment in this game is much better. You can sell all your equipment from this tab. You can equip all your equipment from this tab. Everything's in a pool. There's no logistics of having to like send it in packages to other heroes. So I do like this page and the way that they've done weapons and upgrades compared to previous versions of the game. But Paradox, Triumph, listen, we need tabs for heroes. We need we need to be able to cycle heroes on this page. So I'm not the only one. That's good to know. All of the things that people are complaining about are pretty minor. But yeah, like even here, like I can switch between all my armies. Like, why isn't this on that tab? Like, I can do it there. I can do it in cities, you know? Go to a city, and I click on it, and I can cycle through cities. Like, they did it everywhere else in the game, except for the one place that kind of makes the most sense. So, yeah, that definitely needs to be added. And I'm sure if people keep complaining about it, it will. Um, we're really close to an hour at this point. And I'm trying to see how many turns we have. It's going to be 4 turns before we get this done. So I'm not so sure that we're going to do this battle. I think what we're going to do is set up for these battles. And then in the next video, we'll open up the video with the battle. So let's try to get to a good place where we're ready for those fights. And then we'll end the video for today because we're really close to an hour. And I don't want to pick up a battle at an hour and go like an hour and 40 minutes. Okay, so they're asking for food. We could pick up relations. I think, yeah, their relations are at 650. So this would max out our relations with these guys, and it would stop growth for 2 turns. We could also, instead of getting the relations, just get a bunch of production. Or we could just pass on this altogether with no penalty. I'll go ahead and give them that and get the relations. There's really no reason not to. It's not going to hurt us all that much. 2 turns of no food in our main city isn't going to slow us down. We've received a trade proposal. Okay. So this is where the game gets interesting. When certain personalities are basically in a situation where they know they're just doomed, they'll start offering all kinds of proposals to you every turn. If you ignore their proposals and keep pushing, you'll eventually get to a proposal where they'll basically become a bonded vassal. And they act just like a vassal from that point forward, but they have a very powerful hero in all of their development. And so that's what we're going to push for. We're going to decline this and continue the war. And every turn, we're probably going to get another offer. And if we get the bonded vassalage offer, we might take it just to speed up this game. I don't know why that shows up that way. Feels like I'm clicking on them out of order. Okay, let's go through. We've got our city town hall now. We can get our spelljammer up. Hold on. What do I have 4 farms. I don't need 4 farms. So one of our farms is going to become a spelljammer. How about this one? So that'll get done. All right, we got the market here. Don't really have the money for much else. I could build a tavern, but it's kind of not necessary with the summoning stone that they have. Or whispering stone, sorry. So we're just kind of short on cash. Same here. I can get the mint, so we're going to start building things like the mint, and then get this town hall to tier 3, and that will help with our money situation a little bit. Alright, and then we have all these units that need orders, so off you go. Off you go. Ah. This is just a conduit, not a spelljammer. Huh? So if they have a spelljammer in their territory, we would not be able to cast spells in their domain. 3 turns until breach. Alright, we are going to move up here, and then from here, this is soft dirt. So there's compact dirt or soft dirt. This is bedrock. Are all of these bedrock? This is diggable earth. Okay. So diggable earth can be removed from the map, and it will clear the whole domain's worth of territory and open up a new territory. Sometimes military units will pop up. There'll be weird stuff underneath the ground, essentially. But yeah, I thought maybe we could dig our way up here, but it appears that this is all bedrock. If we wanted to start digging, we would need to pick up this, and it's only 75 Imperium. So I'm going to pick up that. And then you click on your unit, and there's a little shovel over here. And if you click on the shovel, it will show you all the territories that are diggable. Sometimes there's like loot underneath them, so it can be very beneficial to get down here and unearth all of these things. You'll find some cool like magic items laying on the ground, but you can also uncover like some pretty powerful um, enemies, some random wandering monsters. I think I uncovered like a bone dragon once that was terrifying. So there's also that. But if I do that, I can kind of see. Yeah, it doesn't really show me over here so much. Oh yeah, it does. Okay, so there's a bunch of area over here that's diggable. I was trying to see if there was a way that we could get, like, dig to him from down below, but it doesn't look like that's the case. So that's not going to help us all that much. Um, I'm curious if I set her to auto-explore if she will do the digging. So we might see if she actually tries to like dig that out on her turn automatically. Yeah, see this icon is goofed up. So just a couple minor glitches today. Not sure what's causing that exactly, but a lot of times if you just reload the game, it'll go away. So we can go ahead and end our turn, I guess. We still have movement points. You guys just need to stay put. Yeah. Who else? Anybody? Yeah, see now that went away for whatever reason. Alright. It looks like these guys have had enough of their crap. They're actually sending an offensive army over here. So with this offensive army on the way, there's a good chance we could potentially send one of our armies up here. This is only going to be 3 turns away. Add siege projects. So we have 10, they have 25, 15 would make it in 2 turns. Does 3? Yeah, 3 makes it in 2 turns, and then I can also harass the defenders. So this will be done in 2 turns, and they'll take a little bit of damage before the fight starts. So that pretty much should secure that victory. I don't care about the insult. Other rulers started a war. Okay, so these two are now at war. She built an outpost down underground. I saw that. And the Rock is ready to construct some more buildings. The Tribunal is going to give us a whole bunch of knowledge, which is kind of cool. I could also produce a levy camp with this guy, but that doesn't really help us stretch south. So it's still basically going to be the same number of turns. Yeah, I'm not really sure what to build here. Granary in 2 turns is cheap, but let's go ahead and get the Tribunal. Knowledge is pretty powerful at this point in the game. We're going to get more powerful spells unlocked quicker. So we'll just grab that. Empowered Beasts, we get to select new research. Totem of the Wild. Spawns a Totem of the Wild in a combat. One animal unit at the start of each of your turn, last 5 turns. So this basically just produces a whole bunch of animal units. That's kind of crazy. That would be really fun to use with our animal army that we have. Burden of Guilt. This is a map spell that we can blast somebody with some spirit damage. Let's pick that up. What we can do is before we fight with this army, we can blast them with another 10 spirit damage and then engage in the fight before they get a chance to heal. 2 units need movement orders. Okay, so you can go there. You can finally get underground. Oh, looky there. We found your outpost. Okay, well, we'll be taking that down here shortly. And we are now over an hour, so I think we're all prepped for the big war to come. Everybody's sort of set up. We've got this one in 2 turns, this one in 2 turns, so we're going to be able to do both of those on the same time. We'll probably wipe out her outpost next turn, and then we'll be ready for the last push to the end of this particular playthrough, where we have to hunt down Dig Lunar, who remained out of the game, basically hidden underground for the first like 40 turns, 50 turns of the game. So very interesting. But yeah, that's going to wrap it up for this one today. I very likely will do one more this evening, and then that will have to be the end of the series until I get back from my trip. So hopefully you guys are enjoying it, but that'll give you a little time to catch up on where we're at before we make the final push for the end of the Lionel Johnson Loyalty is Its Own Reward playlist. And then we'll be picking up a new one. So last thing, Tartan had a couple more comments. He said another thing that could be added, an order on vassals' armies to move their armies to a point we have selected in order to help us at war. Yeah, kind of like a call to war or call to help, where they would have the option to sort of send an army or two over there to help you. That would be kind of cool. I'm sure that that kind of stuff is probably planned for future expansions um, and updates to the game. So, but yeah, I think that stuff will eventually be added, much like it has in other games of this nature, like Stellaris and Total War Warhammer had some stuff that was added like that. So all those games get these things over time. But this is a really good experience, a really good base game. I'm really happy with the quality of the game. There were some minor issues day one. They've done several hot fixes and fixed almost all the bugs, at least for the majority of people. And it's going to be a good game for years and years and years to come, just because of how open-ended it is. Just this big open world sandbox that you can do whatever you want, create all kinds of cool stories. Um, and it's pretty compelling and fun system so far, I must say. So that being said, this has been the Nose Plays, and you guys have a great day.